Hello, welcome to another edition of Conspirator Brock's Pull List. This is my pull list for the weekend of March 6th, 2019. Let's get right into it. A fair amount of books this week, but a lot of big books this week. First up, we have Adventures of the Super Sons, number 8. I've really been enjoying this mini-series, or this maxi-series, I should say. Just another story about Damien and Jonathan. I want you guys to be aware, I don't know if it happened at your shop or not, but apparently every single copy of Adventures of Super Sons 8 has this error in it. If you can see the crease here, I don't know, it doesn't look like a cut, it looks more like just a bend in the paper. So that's all of them. Don't know if DC is going to fix that or if it's just like that, so check your Adventures of the Super Sons if you get it. Let me know if your version had the error in it or if you got a good one. Next up is a Batman 66. We are done with the Price story line, and now we are back to Tom King's Batman stuff. I already read this issue. It's fantastic. What goes on in it is just super cool. The dialogue's great. I can't wait to reread it. So yeah, but if you're not reading Tom King's Batman, you need to, because it's that good. Next up, we have Curse of the Brimstone in number 12. This is the last issue for the series, which means I'm going to purge this, but I read it. It's okay. But overall, I think Brimstone was just an character. Once, you could really kind of tell that once they decided to axe it, there was just no passion behind the character, and they were just kind of spinning wheels to get it finished. So, it's sad to see that the DC Age of Heroes stuff fail, or I wouldn't. A lot of them failed miserably, but Curse of Brimstone had potential, but just didn't make it. Next up is one I normally don't get, and that's Deathstroke 41. The reason I'm picking up is this is the Terminus Agenda prologue, so this is going to cross over with Teen Titans. So gonna beware of that. That's gonna come up, the Terminus Agenda. So I'll be getting Deathstroke for that, and then I'll be done. Next up is a big one this week, and that's Doomsday Clock number 9. This is a great issue. I already read it. It's fantastic. Doomsday Clock is amazing. I know people have complained about the release schedule since issue 1 came out in November of 2017, and we're only on 9, and it's 2019. I don't mind the delays. 10 got pushed back just today by 2 weeks. So hopefully we will get this finished up by the summer. But who knows? It's supposed to go 12 issues, so we still got 10, 11, and 12. So hopefully Jeff Johns and Gary Frank can crank it out in time. Or not necessarily in time, just get it done as quickly as possible. But Doomsday Clock is good. Fucking good. You need to buy it. Next up is The Dreaming number 7. I've been enjoying The Dreaming from the Sandman Universe books. Really, really good stuff. So yeah, keep going with it. Next up is Female Furies number 2. What can I say about this book? I'm not going to be reading this anymore or picking it up. Issue 1 was really, really rough to get through, and issue 2 was about on par with how rough it was to get through. I was not impressed at all. I wanted to like this book, but dead on arrival. Like, it was that bad. Next up, we have Frozen Reunion Road number 1. Yep, for my daughter. Hopefully she likes Frozen. Next up, we have the final issue of Green Arrow, issue 50. This run of Green Arrow is ending. I don't know if they're going to bring Green Arrow back, but I've really, really enjoyed Green Arrow ever since Lemire picked it up back at in the New 52, all the way through to the end of the New 52. The Rebirth stuff, the 50 issues have been just fantastic. Green Arrow is definitely a must-recommend Green Arrow run to read, is that stuff. So if you haven't checked Green Arrow out and you've been curious, I would highly recommend starting with the Jeff Lemire stuff and then moving on from there to what is now the final issue of 50. Next up, we have Green Lantern number 5, Grant Morrison and Ian Sharp. What can I say? This book is weird. It's Grant Morrison. It's weird. It's hard to do that. Yeah. Next up, we have Harley Quinn at number 59. Apparently, Harley has a new head, and it looks buggish. So we'll see what happens and why that takes place. Next up is Scott Snyder's Justice League 19. What does this say at the bottom? When Metropolis attacks. So apparently, Metropolis is going to eat people, because that's the Daily Planet Globe. We'll see. Snyder's just done a fantastic job with Tyrion IV, just knocking it out of the park with Justice League. Really, really solid book. I would highly recommend going and picking up the first trade and checking it out for yourself. Next up, we have Suicide Squad Black Files, number 5 of 6. Suicide Squad's over. Black Files is still going. I think once they finish Black Files, they're going to bring Suicide Squad back with a new creative team. But I've enjoyed Black Files. It's been good. And finally on my pull list is Young Justice number 3. Bendis has done a good job with issue 1 and 2, so I can't wait to see what's in store for issue 3. I did pick up some variants this week. The first one was for Batman 66. It's an okay variant. It's nothing to like go, oh my god, it's the best thing ever. But I picked it up. Then we have the Doomsday Clock variant, where apparently Dr. Manhattan is just like erasing everybody. That's vicious. Green Arrow had a variant cover for 50. I like this cover better than the main cover. So, yeah, I don't know why they did that. Of course, I wouldn't have bought that if it was the variant. So, I bought both like a sucker. And then, of course, Harley Quinn had a variant for 59, and it was a sideways variant. And the nice thing is they put it all sideways right here. Good job, DC. Look at that. Like, I don't care that this goes the wrong direction, but all this is going the right direction. Good job, DC. So, I did pick up some trades that came out this week. The first one is The Walking Dead, Volume 31, The Rotten Core. I read Walking Dead in trade. It's great. I love it. It's been fantastic. Can't wait to dive in and see what's going on. Next up is The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 8. The Old is the New. This collects the 6 specials, the essential specials that Wicked and Divine released, as well as some like the Christmas Annual and the funnies. So this is kind of just like the one-shot extra stuff that they released. People were curious how they were going to collect it, so this is how they're collecting it in trade. Volume 8. So I can't wait to dive in and be confused as shit when I read this. Like, Wicked and Divine is good, it's just confusing as hell. And then finally, we have the Detective Comics 80 Years of Batman, the Deluxe Edition. Yes, that means later on this month, there's going to be a Detective Comics 1000 issue. This is just really, really good stuff. I picked up the actual one. I loved it. This has a lot of really cool stuff in it. Let's see what we got. I'll read it off so this one has the very first Batman story. It debuts other legendary characters, including Robin, Batgirl, Batwoman, and even Batmite. It has the first appearances of classic DC arch-villains Two-Face, Riddler, and Man-Bat. The never-before-published sketchbook of Lou Sari-Swartz, depicting... I butchered that name, let me know how badly. Depicting the original layouts for his legendary Batman story from Detective Comics 200. There's an original story set in Bruce Wayne's childhood from Paul Levitz and Denny's Cowan, and much, much more. So there's just a lot of stuff in here. I can't wait to dive in. I really enjoyed reading through the Action Comics one. So yeah, but this is the deluxe version of the celebrating 80 years of Detective Comics, or Detective Comics 80 years of Batman. So yeah, pick it up. It's cool. So that is it for this week. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments down in that comment section below. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you're picking up this week. If you have any questions, throw them there. I try to get to them. Bear with me, I'm a single dad. So, yep. You can follow me on Twitter. My handle is @BrockSager. You can also listen to me on the Comics Conspiracy podcast. We just finished recording episode 391, where we actually, our old co-host Bryce Larsen makes a guest appearance. He was down in this area this week, so he stopped by to record. It is definitely a long episode. I had to cut out to go get my kids, but apparently I was only there for a third of the podcast, so it's a really long one. But check it out. There will be a link in the description below for that. You can help me and my fellow conspirators conspirators out through Patreon at www.patreon.com/comicsconspiracy. For as little as $1 a month, you help us with hosting fees, getting food sometimes, and getting product. So thank you very much for everybody who helps. It does really, really help out a lot. You can also help me out a little more directly. Anytime you see a link to Amazon here or on my website, conspiratorbrock.com, if you click on it and buy something through that click, then I will get a cut, and I appreciate that. Also, if you go to my eBay page where I am constantly selling stuff, you can, if you buy something, that helps me out as well. To everyone who's helped me out that way and through Amazon, thank you very much. It is much appreciated. Yeah, so that's it really for this week. I don't really have much. I am going to go see Captain Marvel on Friday. I did pre-order my tickets for it. No, I am not, what's the word, dissing this movie before ever seeing it. I'm actually really curious to see how they do Captain Marvel in the movie universe, because honestly, the stuff I've read from Captain Marvel in the comics, I hasn't been impressed, but I've liked the idea of the character. So I'm going to go check out Captain Marvel. It comes out Friday, so yeah, we'll see how it is. I think I'm going to like the movie because the trailer had a blockbuster video in it, and I mean, I grew up in the 80s, or I grew up in the late 80s, 90s, and that was the blockbuster era. So yeah, we'll see. But if you're going to go check out Captain Marvel, let me know what you think in the comments below, because and if I get a chance, I may do a review video, but we will definitely most likely talk about it on the next episode of the Comics Conspiracy, so be on the lookout for that. That's it. I got to get this up. I'll see you next week.